Hello, so glad to have you back again as we continue through our series. Let's get going today. It's going to be a good one. One preparatory movement for warm-up. We're going to bend over. We're going to perform a good morning, which we've done several times, and then we're going to reach our arms overhead. Knees are 90% straight. Hinge backward through the hips. Reach your arms overhead for a second. Stand tall, repeat. We're doing about 8 of these. Knees 90% straight. Press back to the hips, nice big reach, and you can choose how aggressively you want to reach as we go into 3. Elbows really straight, fingertips really reaching, but focuses through the hips, reach overhead, really nice. About 4 more. And then on the last one, we're going to hold for about 10 seconds in the stretched position. If you want to, a little more advanced, I want you to narrow those feet now, hinge. Okay, otherwise remain with your feet wide. Last one, wide feet, narrow feet, you pick. Hinge and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, driving backwards through those hips. 6, 5, 4, 3, knuckles up to the ceiling, 2, 1, and relax forwards. Okay, nice. We're gonna get going today into Lat Try Stretch. We've seen this one before. Little reminder, you guys will need your stick. You'll need something to stretch on, bench, couch, chair, whatever. You'll figure it out. Arms are shoulder width grip, okay? Remember this one, we're gonna drive our head down through the window that we're making with our elbows and our shoulders, okay? So let's get right into it. You can watch and then rewind the video if you need to. I'm gonna walk my knees backwards, elbows on my bench. I'm gonna start to reach my head through this window that I've made. I'm going to feel this nice stretch generate through my lats, armpits, maybe triceps a little bit. Again, hence the name Lat Try Stretch. If it's not bad, if you look up, you're going to round your tailbone, round your spine, and that can help give you a bigger stretch if you need it. Now, when we're doing the stretch, we absolutely do not want pinching on the top of the shoulder, okay? The face of the shoulder that's looking at the ceiling. So if you are feeling some pinching, you can look up. And you would just try and come out to a point where you don't feel pinching anymore. And over time, you want to allow yourself to sit down and join the rest of us here. Give me a nice deep breath. If you want to, again, that tailbone is tucked and rounded. If you want to, think about pressing your armpits towards the floor. That can help create a little bit more torque and thus stretch. A few more seconds. This is our first of 2 sets in the Lat Try Stretch. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, come on out, gently, slowly. We are going to do that one again. I want you all to stand up. I'm going to be half kneeling for the camera, but I want you guys to stand for the next drill. We're going to do some shoulder flexion raises, okay? So wider grip is going to be more accommodating, a little bit more gentle on the shoulder, but a narrow grip is going to be harder and a little bit more true shoulder overhead mobility. So you guys are standing, but if you want to, you can be kneeling. I want your bum tight, I want your belly tight. We're going to pull ourselves now into an overhead position, 10 times there and back. And what we're doing is we're combining the passive stretch of the lat try with active mobility of bringing ourselves into the overhead position. The end position here, we actually are doing in both movements. But in the first, it's passive, and in this one, it's active. So elbows completely straight now. If you want to, get a little bit of torque on your stick, squeeze your glutes and core a little bit harder, lift a little bit slower, and pull your knuckles backwards behind you. Let's do a few more. We just have 1 set of these today. Also, lift, reach that stick up as you pull it backwards. Ensure that you're not compensating through your spine because we're using our shoulders. Belly, glutes tight, lift knuckles high, lift knuckles backwards. Let's do 1 more. Your shoulder should be feeling warm right now from all the work. Good. Okay. 1 more round of the lat try. Give you a couple seconds. So again, we are then actively producing range of motion, and now we're going to go into a passive stretch, and we should reap a little bit of benefit from those 2 movements combined together. Elbows on bench, chair, whatever you want to do. Walk the knees back. Breathe. Get that head through the window. Relax. Here for about 45 seconds. Again, round that tailbone, round that low back if you want to, round the mid back. Start to add a little pressure with armpits down to the floor, if that's right for you. If you're super advanced, you can take one knee off the floor, okay? That one knee off the floor like so. Now I got even more load through my shoulder, lats, armpits, okay, which is increasing my stress tolerance even greater. I'm gonna stay on my two knees, feels good. Armpits pressing down. Tailbone tucked and rounded. This does not need to be intense. Give me one more deep breath. And start to come on out, walk the knees forwards. So I really, really enjoy that stretch. What I've found over a long period of time of doing it is that if I'm in the position and I'm just relaxed, it doesn't necessarily feel great on my shoulder. The force goes back here. I really gotta add a little contraction through here, gotta press down with my shoulder blades towards the floor, and I gotta add a little bit of that rounding force. Then I feel a great stretch. So just some little feedback for you if you would maybe find that helpful. Okay, toss away your yoga mat, whatever you got. Toss away your shoes. We need to be in straddle. And straddle looks like this, okay? Challenging position. Feet are wide, bum is on the floor. Sit on something if you need that for help, okay? If you're here, all good. Put your hands behind your body to get nice and tall. And over the next 60 seconds of us holding the stretch, if you can, you're gonna make little adjustments, okay? Or you can lean forward and pull a leg. Just want you to try and acclimatize to straddle. If you can, of course. Hands are on the legs. Knees are flat, knees are straight. Hands are in front of the body. A little relaxed. And if you want to do a little movement here, okay, a little exploration, that's fine. Some people will like to kind of reach for a foot or do like a little overhead reach to the other side. You can do whatever you want. If you're just stationary and a happy camper just kind of being here, that's all good. If you want to do a little bending over action, all good. Okay, we call these good mornings. Bending over, think about pulling my belly button towards the floor, that's all good. And after a few more seconds of being in this straddle position, we're going to do a similar thing that we did with our lat try, which is we're going to do an active strength movement for our hips, and then we'll revisit the straddle, and hopefully it's a little bit better, feels a little bit more flexible or accessible. A couple more seconds, wherever you want to be. I'm feeling a little bit stiff today. I think I did deadlifts yesterday, maybe that's why. Okay, make your way on up. So what we're gonna do now, you guys might wanna use something for help here, a chair, a wall for balance, could be your stick on the floor like a staff. Hand on something for help, switched hands, sorry if that threw you off. With one leg, I want you to start to bring that knee up towards your chest, okay? And I want you to somewhat bring it as high as you can with only using your actual leg to lift. When you can go no further, you're gonna add in your hand and you're gonna passively pull in another few centimeters or inches. I want you to slowly lift off the hand, hold the new position you've made. You should feel a little working in the hip. Relax for a second, we're gonna do 3 more. So slow, pull, using strength through my hip to bring myself into this position. I'm not gonna fall over. Then I'm gonna passively, with the hand, add a little bit more range. Get a little bit tight with the belly and the core, wean off the hand. I should feel some working in that hip. Relax slowly, 2 more. Slowly bring that hip up. Again, strength, this is mobility. Adding a passive stretch, flexibility. Weaning off the hand, holding, 3, 2, 1, and down. We're gonna do 1 more. Make sure you're not feeling your back. If you're feeling your back, you just might not be used to this and you need to be gentle, or you might be over pulling where you're starting to engage your spine in an inappropriate manner. So last passive hold, 3, 2, 1, good. That hip should be kind of working. It should be warm like the shoulders were when we were pulling our stick overhead. Other side, be slow. People always pull way faster than they should. Slow and controlled, that allows you to access what is truly accessible for mobility and strength. Whoa. Passive range now, wean off the hand, hold the position. 3 more. Relax the hip for a second or more if you need to, but I'm going right back into my next rep. Active range, passive range, a little bit of tension through my core to support my hip, which is working overtime now. 2 more. Slow, active raise. Tall through the spine, tall through the head. Wean off the hand, hold. Try not to let the knee drop even a millimeter when you take the hand off. Feeling that hip now working a lot. Last one. I'm breathing. You should be too. Find your active range. Adding a bit of passive. Wean off the fingers. Hold strong. 3, 2, 1. And relax. Now, hips should definitely be, again, warm and a little bit worked from that. However much you want to go into that passive range dictates how hard they're going to work. Make your way back down when you're ready. We're going to go into straddle round 2, okay? And what we should feel a little bit now is that my hips are a little bit better in closing the distance between my quad and my chest. And that as I hit this straddle again, hopefully just feels a little bit more, again, the word I always use is accessible. So knees are flat as best you can, knees are facing the ceiling. Sometimes I kind of do this little like semicircle down towards the floor more and more. You can pick. Again, if you want to kind of spend some time, you're comfortable in straddle, you want to spend some time on one leg, you can do that. If you're here, all good. I'm glad you're here joining us, working on your straddle today. But I like straddle a lot. We've seen a lot of hip mobility and groin with bear sit. There's a lot more hamstring here. Our hips should be independent of our spine, and the straddle is a really good display of what your hips can do independent of your spine. A couple more seconds. Nice. Again, wherever you want to be, try and breathe, try and relax. Relaxing allows your nervous system to adjust and detect that this position isn't so bad after all. Good. Okay. What we'll finish off with now today is some spine work. Just some easy cat-cows to kind of work out the spine, those positions, which was kind of stationary and could have felt a little bit of stress. So we've seen this before. We're going to do 5 repetitions. The first rep I want to be super gentle. Second rep I want you to add a little bit more force. Third rep a little more force. Fourth a little bit more force. Fifth a little bit of force. So that at your 5th rep you're doing quite a bit of flexion force through your spine and extension. But as always, you can regulate that. You do what's right for you. It doesn't need to be what Will does or what Will is saying. First round, spine. First round, you're going to round the spine. You're going to extend the spine. Super easy, nothing hard, right? Chilling. My head's down so I can talk on the mic, but you guys are looking up. Number 2, don't force it, but you're adding 15%, 20% more tension. Pushing to the floor with your hands a little more, rounding the spine a little bit more, and now extending with just a little bit more force, okay? A little bit more chest pulling up, a little bit more pressing away from the floor. Number 3, transition, however you want to. Rounding a little bit more. This time, somewhat more significantly, pressing mid back up to the ceiling, tucking and rounding tailbone, and switch. Looking up, arching a little bit harder. If you should. Some of you, as we go into number 4, are maybe at the same pressure and intensity for all of these reps today. That's great. Do that. Nice. 4, arching up pretty hard now. Oh man, daily cat-cows. Get them in. You'll be a happy person. Last one. Round as much as you want, really hard, really spreading the shoulder blades, really gripping the floor, really touching the back of the ceiling, or lesser to whatever degree. Transition, and now really arching, pulling your knees away from your palms, squeezing the floor, pushing away. Arching firm for 3, 2, 1. Good. And we're going to call it there. I will see you guys next time.